Hey everyone, my name's Gemma. I am a member of the Australian and New Zealand Fontan Advocacy Committee, and I will be doing the third video on coping during the coronavirus pandemic. So firstly, a little bit about me. I was born with tricuspid atresia and atrial septal defect, and I had a Glen shunt procedure at the age of 3 months old, and then my full Fontan at the age of 2, and I'm currently 29 years old. For me, the coronavirus pandemic has been quite difficult and has changed my world a little bit. So I actually work as a registered nurse. So I'm expected to be on the front line, dealing with people with suspected or confirmed cases of COVID-19. Obviously for me, this wasn't recommended by my doctors. So it was a little bit difficult initially to understand where I stood at work in terms of the amount of patient contact I could have, the role I could play. And it was quite difficult because initially I didn't fit into any of the categories that were listed as at risk or vulnerable persons by my workplace to relocate me to somewhere else within the working facility, away from patient contact. So I felt a little bit in the middle then, and a bit stressed because I was having to contact my doctors a lot more, get more medical certificates, get them to provide explanations as to why I was considered high risk during this time, and why my doctors didn't really want me to have much patient contact. That was a bit difficult, not only the stress of the paperwork and that side of thing, but also not being able to be there for my colleagues on the floor fighting this on the front line, and not being able to be there to support them, feeling a bit guilty that I was sitting at a desk out the back doing paperwork while they were dealing with patients and caring for patients. So I suppose for me it was really about finding a new purpose at work, and a way that I could support my colleagues through this, but also keeping myself in a low risk environment. So another impact for me has definitely been my social life. So pretty early on, my husband and I talked about really trying to reduce our risks. So he worked as a builder, so we both weren't going to be able to work from home. We knew that. So we decided to kind of reduce risks in other ways. We didn't really go to the shops much. We weren't going out to restaurants. Still not really going out to restaurants now. And, bars and clubs and things like that, we've really stopped doing, and we're just trying to stay at home as much as possible. That's been very difficult because we are very social people, and we do like going out and seeing our friends and spending time away from home. Another thing for me is definitely spending time with my family. So I've got quite a big Italian family, and we get together every Sunday to have lunch, and not being able to do that was very hard initially. We tried all the video calls and Zoom and house party apps, but we did find it very difficult, as I do have an elderly grandparent who, she finds English is her second language, and she finds it difficult to communicate with us face to face, let alone on technology. So in that sense, it was kind of difficult to try and do it that way. But we knew we had to try and reduce the risks as much as possible, particularly for me being in a high risk category, and of course my elderly grandparent who's in her 80s being in a high risk category. So I suppose my advice would be just try and adapt as best you can. Really try and find a purpose and a reason for what you're doing. If you're stuck at home doing work, or if you've got to go to work but your situation's changed a little bit, just try and find the benefits in everything. Really try and stay in contact with your family and friends. Don't isolate yourself, even if that's through social media or video chats or just text messaging. Anything to try and just keep those connections. It's really important. And of course, we're always here on our socials. If you need any support or any information, we can certainly try and guide you to that. So thanks for your time, and I hope you all stay well and safe.